What we do is we do craft with industrial materials. Is what we call handmade high-tech.
People don't really understand what happens in factories, and we wanted to make sure that people understand the kind of like the materiality of things. And there's a lot of kind of alchemy that's involved in making plastics. Initially, when we first started working with this material, it was very hard to find it in its raw state. But luckily enough, Jablite was able to give us some raw material, and we were able to start experimenting with that. And as we started experimenting more, we made lots of little developments, and then we ended up kind of working with them. We have different interests in terms of outcome. They're a volume manufacturer and we're much more of a craft studio. But the relationship is a very happy relationship because we kind of enjoy our differences. We can see how they innovate and they can see how we innovate.
One of the reasons why we started working with polystyrene, it was to change the perception for the material, and because polystyrene traditionally is used either for packaging or for insulation. When it's packaging, it's a disposable material that has a very short life, and for insulation, it goes between walls, so you can't really see it.
We looked at a lot of plastics like polypropylene, polyethylene, and we found out that polystyrene could actually be moulded with steam at 100 degrees. And that for us was very interesting because we thought initially we were going to make metal moulds, but then if it's at 100 degrees, it means that you can process the polystyrene inside a textile because you can wash clothes at 100 degrees.
We didn't have any particular product in mind because we didn't know what was going to be possible and what this material was going to be good for. Once we know how the material behaves and what's possible with it, then we design. The way it works is like we put the raw material into a mold, then we steam it, and the steam makes the granules expand and fuse together. And then once the piece is ready, we get rid of the fabric, and then that's how we get the piece finished.
Yeah, it kind of behaves a bit like popcorn. So as you give it heat, it puffs up like popcorn, and that's why polystyrene has got that kind of spongy quality. Normally, chairs that are made this way are made using injection moulding processes. And in injection moulding, the plastic always becomes liquid. And with our process, the plastic never really becomes liquid, it always stays granular. And so that's how we're able to get that pixelated, noisy kind of feel to it. When you see companies, they're interested in making things in tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions even. And for a young designer, that's kind of that scary, one, and two, you just don't have that kind of investment. But what we're able to do is see the kind of the opportunities that the production line doesn't see, so we can make more unique items and work with the material in a very hands-on way, low-tech way, which is much, much cheaper. The material's aesthetic is definitely polarizing, and what we hope is that people will either love it or they'll hate it, but they'll also kind of engage with the kind of motive behind the project, which is to elevate the kind of status of polystyrene and show plastic in a new light.